Welcome back to our another episode of our GODSU Wednesday Icon Talk. I am yours truly, His Excellency the Car. I am your MC and director for our show. And tonight we're going to have a highlight of our Empower You Conference, Part 2 of our May 2020 edition. Our master class that we covered is Wealth Has No Race. Build wealth through credit scores, real estate investing, and insurance. So you want to stay tuned and sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Has No Race, and for those who don't know, Wealth Has No Race is the name of a book that every member of my family wrote. Sudan started writing her part like 2 years ago when she was 12, and so all of us have chapters in that book to give our experiences with that topic. And so it is apropos that we have someone that is an expert at credit scores and increasing your credit scores, as well as someone who's an expert in real estate investments. And we purposefully putting blue diamonds behind us because those are the most expensive diamonds. And you know, blue is a color for GODSU. So let me get your bio so people will know your expertise. So we're coming up with your bio. So let's get started with the wonderful, wonderful panelists that we have here. We have Dr. Lalithia here, and Reverend Dr. Lalithia Barad Davis is the founder and CEO of Dwar to Live in Overflow LC and Assistant Minister at Greenhouse International Church, as well as a board advisor on the board here at GODSU, as well as an assistant dean over our chaplaincy program. She is a charismatic Christian leader. After serving 31 years in the federal government as chief of the Drug Enforcement Administration Department of Homeland and Security, she became a 911 survivor. Miraculously, God has healed Reverend Dr. Davis, and she has dedicated her life to empowering others through her enterprise, Dwar to Live in Overflow LLC. A certified ombudsman and certified Christian counselor, she's an advocate for senior citizens as well as a mentor to many, and we are so proud to call her here, GODSU, one of our alum, and most of all, one of our friends. Welcome, Dr. Lalithia, Reverend Dr. Lalithia. And next, I'm going to bring you all to the big Oba. That's right, our wonderful, wonderful man of God. And we're going to just give you just a little bit about him. There's so much to learn, but we're just going to give you a little taste. All right, so here he is, Dr. Patrick Freeman, chaplain, AKA the Big Oba, CEO of Artesian Development. That's right. He is a feature writer for the Buffalo Criterion newspaper. He now offers 27 years of experience in sports broadcasting, and he helps young broadcasters to master the art of delivery and interview. When you hear his voice, you stop immediately and pay attention. You know, over the last 27 years, Patrick has covered the Buffalo Bills, 20 Super Bowls, and NBA college and high school athletics from 1994 until 2018. But most importantly is that he is a real estate investor, just the best out there, outstanding. And so he has been able to, just like my dad did, to build his wealth, basically using real estate as his model. He has done over 20 rehabs, completed new housing, new buildings. He's just done things all over the country. He was recently awarded a Doctorate of Humane Letters from us here at GODSU and appointed Assistant Dean of Business Development. He took some time off to publish his book, Art of the Interview book, but I know he's coming back, but he's a man of his word. So if he tells you he needs a little time to get certain things together, I believe him, and I so know that he'll come back, but he's here as an icon speaker. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome, welcome to Wealth has no race. And I'm going to start with the big Oba, only because I like saying that. I just love it. The big Oba.
Yes.
Yes. So tell us, Dr. Patrick Freeman, tell us how you got involved in real estate development and why it's part of what we should have in our in our wealth portfolio today.
Well, I started first. Thank you for allowing me to be with you. Her Excellency, Dr. Diane Eubanks, Chancellor of Global Overday Seminary and University, and His Excellency Dakar Eubanks. Thank you and your great skill with technology. I started with real estate close to 30 years ago, understanding and talking to others that showed me that real estate was the basic component for building wealth. It gives you asset power, and it also gives you an ability to leverage funds in equity to do other projects. Land is the basic component of power. And Africa, our motherland, when it was sent into chaos, it lost control of the land. They lost control of their culture. Some of them lost control into finding who we call the creator because land was separated from them. So, land is the basic component for building wealth and building real generational wealth. It was always something that Malcolm X talked about. He talked about the landless versus the landlord. Land being that basic component, you must be able to control land in order to create real asset wealth. I know you're hearing a lot about cryptocurrencies and all these other ways of generating wealth, but most of them are based on control of land. If you do not control land, it is very difficult for you to create real generational wealth that you can pass down to your children. So areas of the earth that usually fall into trouble is usually because they have lost control of land. The colonial period, which sent the world into basic chaos, was because a loss of control of land. Africa, the richest continent on the planet, does not control its resources. So one of our goals is giving that continent back its power. Understanding the history of land, time, places, events, and people is one way to understand how you must build generational wealth. Land creates opportunities to open other businesses by being able to leverage that equity that is built into real estate. And if you don't control real estate, it is very difficult for you to get those funds in order to generate the type of wealth that you want to obtain. The basic understanding of property is the one thing that will always have value. Understanding how to leverage that value to make more money or to increase that property's value is the key to generating real wealth, which allows you to expand into other avenues of business. To this date, I have completed over 20 rehabs, which has increased the value of those properties, resold them at a profit, and thus leading me to now building new houses from scratch in South Fulton, Georgia. Real estate gives you that equity to open other businesses that creates generational wealth. That is why it is so important that during the enslavement period, you notice they had to separate us from understanding the history of our land, geography, culture, and people. Land is the roadmap and the virtual compass to understanding who you are. And land is that moral compass that they used to separate us during the enslavement period. It was an act to separate you from the ultimate power, which is the creator of the universe, and the cultivation of the land that was given to you, and the development of the skill that came to associating yourself with that land. It is the beginning of it all, understanding wealth and understanding the value of real estate. are the buildings of real wealth, and wealth begins with real estate and understanding that real estate is that lasting equity. Thank you so much. I know you're on a tight schedule, so I wanted to make sure I stayed concise, but understanding that real estate is the beginning and understanding of creating and generating real generational wealth. It begins with leveraging and understanding real estate and understanding the power of equity value. Thank
Excellent.
you so very much, Doctor.
You are so welcome. And I had a question came in for you. Can you walk them through step by step? Because what Dr. Lalitha is going to talk about and I'm going to talk about is how to get to what you're going to talk, what they need to do, which is actually buy the real estate. So she's going to help them to set up the credit. I'm going to teach them how to use insurance the way my dad did to buy properties. But ultimately, they need to know how to buy properties. So we have put in there a little extra time for you, particular, to just step them through. If someone wants to buy property, what are the steps that they need to do as an investor? And if they have to have a realtor. On purpose, I did not bring a realtor on because a lot of times our people believe that if you don't have this realtor and if you don't have this lender and if you don't have this whatever, which is what they've been taught, you can't do it. You can do your real estate even without a lender if you have insurance that you can take money out of. They don't know that. So they all
Right.
for the lender. They line up and give all these percentages to the real estate agent, thinking that, oh, I have to have a real estate agent. No, you don't. You can be
No.
like you, or you can have someone that educate you like you. And yes, you do have to have a title attorney, which is what I did. So you can't get around me, depending on the state you're in. In certain states, you don't even need a title attorney. I know that in New York, you have to have an attorney. But in Maryland and other places, many places, they do allow someone who's a licensed title advisor to do it. You don't have to be an attorney to do it. And people don't know that. So we want to empower our people in terms of being able to buy real estate even without a realtor, even without
Right.
a lender. We want to show them some alternative ways to get it done. So Dr. Patrick Freeman, take it away.
Well, one of the ways that I really got started, I targeted distressed properties that were either seized or considered distressed because of foreclosure. And in doing that, I knew that the title would have been cleaned by the government. And you have to have a clear title. You should never, ever do any work on a property unless you know that title is clean, because that is how people attach things to property in order to get back their money with liens, judgments, and what have you. But by me targeting foreclosed properties or distressed properties in order to get into those properties and survey what was in there, that is where I started my investment. A lot of people will buy properties sight unseen, which I would not advise anyone to do because during the process of rehabbing, it can become very, very difficult to estimate what your rehab costs are to bring those properties up to value. Another thing that you might want to do is study the neighborhoods of properties that you are looking at, because those are going to set the value mark of what those properties can be worth when they're brought to full value by rehabbing or purchase. So that is basically how I started. It's very simple. It's not as hard as people think. You don't need a real estate agent. You can find some properties that are listed in what is called Les Pendis, and you can target those properties going through an attorney. But make sure you don't buy a property unless that title is declared clean. And if it is not clean, you don't want to touch it. So one way of protecting yourself is going after properties that have been seized through distressed reasons with the bank or the government. And usually I would deal directly with banks to bid on properties. It's almost like a private auction. You just can't see the other people involved. And usually you can bid on those properties because the banks, they don't want them. They just want to basically get as much as their money back as possible. But understanding, getting into those properties, that is something I would advise all to do when you're purchasing for a rehab. But as far as land, and building new properties, that is something you need to do in looking at that neighborhood's value. One way you can do that is taking uh, properties that have been sold in the last 6 months and then properties that are listed currently, and you can get a mean value of what that neighborhood is at that particular moment. And by bringing that property up to standard, you can make a tremendous profit, and which I've done several times. But I thank you so much. That's the Freeman Mighty Oba strategy that I have used now for over 25 years, and I've done quite well. I'm currently building 3 new properties in South Fulton, Georgia. And let me tell you, Chancellor, those properties are sold before I can even put a shovel in the ground because there's a lack of housing in the Atlanta, Georgia area. So we're doing quite well with those. And if anybody has any questions, you most certainly can reach out to me.
Outstanding, outstanding. And let me just say what the Holy Spirit is telling me. Holy Spirit is telling me that everything that's going on today is ordained by God. Nothing is too late. Everything is on time. We are here together because it was destined if we moved in obedience. So everybody who is here, you moved in obedience to be here. Many were called, few were chosen because they made the decision to be here. And what you shared with us today, you just changed legacies in so many families, and you did it willingly. So we're going to make this a staple every time that we have a conference. We are going to depend on you to be on here, Dr. Patrick Freeman. And we want you to know that we love you. We appreciate you. You've always looked out for GODSU in every single way possible. And we appreciate you, sir.
Thank you so much. I am honored just to be a part of this historic empowerment conference, and I will do anything for the royal family of Global Overday Seminary and University. We salute you. We respect you. Please tell Dr. Willis, that's my main man right there. That's a good man.
Oh,
Absolutely a historical genius. Taught me a lot of things.
yes, he is. And just so you all know, you probably haven't seen the 2 queens. Well, I just want to let you know that because Her Excellency Cairo and Miss Sudan are pageant queens, they've won all their pageants and their queens. Their father, their papa, does not allow them to go anywhere in that capacity without him being there. So I don't have to be there, but he's there. So he's there protecting his lovely jewels, and as they go in their competitions and their orientations today. So that's why you haven't seen them, but they're watching you on Zoom. So hello to you all. And all of us here are royalty. All of us are children of God and from that throne. So to you also, your Royal Highness, Dr. Patrick. So thank you so much for the kind words. Appreciate it so much. Yes. Thank you. All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you. Thank you. And next up, we have our Assistant Dean, Dr. Lalithia, and she's going to speak to us specifically and directly on how to clean up our credit and what she did to clean up hers, that immediately when she started with that, she was able to buy a brand new house. So Dr. Lalithia, take us away.
Oh, hello, everyone, and great day. Oh, thank you, you beautiful, the Honorable Reverend Dr. Diane Moore Eubanks, Chancellor, and His Excellency Dakar. Everything about you is so excellent, and all that you do to make everything happen. GODSU is excellence, a platform of excellence. I want to say today that credit is, whew, credit is important, very important. And so I want to start out by saying that I, for one, I am the product of the services that I offer. I say to people often, don't be ashamed of your credit scores. Be ashamed if you don't do anything about it. And so that's, life happens. I was a part of that time when the economy went rock bottom or upside down in 2008 and lost everything. And so sickness and other things that came along with it. So I got to the point and I said, I can't, God said the desolate things, those things that have been devastated or ruined in Isaiah can be restored. And so I decided with a mind thought that I would restore my credit. And so what I did was I went to restore my credit, and I'll tell you exactly how you restore your credit, because there's over 54 million people with less than a credit score of 599. That's serious. And so what we must do is check our credit reports often, at least annually. But now in this season, we must check it maybe every 6 months, because there are hackers. There are people that will steal your identity. There are things that could be on your credit that should not be there, and you don't know anything about it. And so what I did was I retrieved my credit reports. Okay. And so 35% of what makes up your credit score is your payment history. So you have to look at how you're paying your payments, things that you pay. Are you paying them late? Are you delinquent? Are you skipping payments? All of that becomes a part of your credit score, makes up your credit score. And it's 35% of it. So that's a large percentage, your credit payment history. Then you have 30% that makes up outstanding debt. If you have a lot of outstanding debt out there, then the lenders or borrowers are looking at how much debt you have. You have to pay down your debts. Okay, and then 15% is the length of your credit history. This is very important, because if you have credit cards or credit history that has a good payment history, oftentimes some people say, well, I've paid this and I don't need it anymore. I don't need this credit card anymore. And they'll close those credit cards. That's a big, huge mistake, because you have a good credit history. That length of history, it's doing your credit score good. When you close that account of that good credit history, you will see a major drop in your credit scores, because you have cut off the length of that good credit history. And you're thinking, well, I don't use that credit card anymore. Well, what you should do is you should at least use that credit card every 6 months or every month. Just put a small purchase on. If it's just no more than gas, keep that credit card going, so that that history, that long length of history, will stay on your credit and keep your scores high. Okay. And then another thing is the type of credit that you have. Building your credit scores, you must have revolving credit. Revolving credit means that you have to have at least a gas card, credit cards, department store credit card. But the key to is that whatever the credit limit is that you keep that card at no more than the spending at no more than 30% or lower, and you pay that bill. Do not max that card out. That will drop your scores tremendously. If you keep your credit cards and your revolving cards at a 30% or lower in the spending of what that credit card limit is, then you will keep your credit scores building up. Again, you have to have also installment loans, such as a car loan. You need to show that you have installment loans and that you're paying them on time. If you have a major loan for a creditor that you've made a loan to, that's an installment loan. Installment loans are loans that have the same amount on a regular monthly basis. Every month you're paying that same amount. Those are installment loans. Revolving are those loans or those charges that change every month. It's not the same amount. Okay, it's revolving. So you must pay those on time. Whenever you see that you have maxed out your card, you're going to see your scores drop. So never max out your credit cards. Use only 30%. Then your inquiries. Don't go everywhere trying to get a credit card. Hard inquiries will drop your scores, with the exception of when you're out there looking for a home or an automobile. Within the first 14 days, no matter how many auto places you go to or mortgage car companies that you seek out to purchase a home, in those 14 days, it does not affect your credit scores as hard inquiries, because they know that you're searching for a car in the best deal. Okay. And so what happened with me with my credit scores, I had a 525 credit score, because life happened. And so I said, I need to buy a home. And I was desired that if God put it in my spirit, he said, be proactive and not reactive. And what that meant was, for my mother, who is a second time widow, is that my husband and I would build a home and include a section of the home for her to have her own independent dwelling. And so in order to do that, I had to fix my credit scores. And so I was determined and disciplined. You have to be disciplined. Looked at my credit scores, looked at what was impacting it, and made all the necessary changes I needed to make. How did I do that? I did the disputes on all those things that were there that should not have been there. If you look at your credit scores, you'll see that there are some items there that should have fallen off, that the creditors did not send anything to the credit bureau. You'll see that there are hard inquiries that are there that you didn't authorize anybody to check your credit. And so those need to come off. You'll see that you can make letters to the borrowers or what have you, asking for that they change the statements on your credit report to reflect something that's more positive. I can give you more information about that, but building your credit scores means looking at your credit reports and making sure that the credit cards that you have, that they are reflective of all three credit bureaus. It makes no sense to have a credit card that only reports to two credit bureaus. That means you're only getting credit for that excellent payment status on two credit bureaus, when you have three credit bureaus that are looking at your scores when you're going to try to buy a home. You have Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. And so when you go to buy a home, they're looking at your all three scores, and your middle score is what they're going to go by. Okay. And so I'm going to tell you also how to boost your credit scores. If you are a renter, you can boost your credit scores by adding your good rental history on your credit. Some people don't know that. If you are paying a good cell phone bill, you have utility bills, cable bills, those are things that can be added to your credit. Those are things that can boost your credit scores. In addition to the other things that I've previously mentioned about how to use your credit cards, getting a secured credit card. So if you don't have a credit card, get a secured credit card, making sure that, again, that they report to all 3 credit bureaus. $200 and only spend $60 or $30, use it just for gas and pay that off. And so that's how you can build your, and so I went from a 525 to an 804 credit score in a matter of 4 months. It does not take a year. If someone tells you that you have to pay them X number of dollars a month, and it takes them a year for you to see any changes in your scores, then stop it right now, because it does not take that long. It does not take that long. And I offer these services in all 50 states. And I have, God's told me, he said, I need you to bless the people. And so I have decided in this, for the first 2 years, that I will not take a profit or pay for servicing other people to help them reach the credit scores they need to reach to buy their first home. So I have blessed many people by not charging them for the services that I offer. And the services that I offer are to build your credit scores, educate you at the same time so that you don't go into that same cycle, and offer other services, 11 services with that. That is building your credit scores, monitoring so that there's no black web or hackers. And then also you have access to a credit attorney, and also doing your wills and your medical power of attorneys. Those things are no extra fee. And teaching your children how to manage money, being educated along the way. You are involved in the whole process so that you can understand credit and how you can not only buy a home, but also purchase a business, start your own business, how to gain and be the lender and not the borrower. Oh my God. So I just can't say enough about credit. It is important to leave a legacy for your seed that comes behind you. You can't leave a legacy if you have poor credit. You can't buy land for your children and grandchildren, or buy property here or property there if you don't have anything to hold on to. That your name, when you walk in a store or you walk in an establishment, your name already speaks for you. Your credit speaks for you. My God. When you go into a bank, it speaks for you. My God. That's a good place to be. I'm talking about being free. Dior to live in the overflow of the many promises and blessings of God. God desires for us to live in abundantly, overflowing, shaken up, pushed down, pressed down, runneth over in the blessings of God. How? By how we are stewards of what he puts in our hand, what he places in our hand. And
Amen.
it's our responsibility to take the first step,
Yes, it is.
like I did, and he'll do the rest.
Outstanding. I mean, it's one thing for someone to give you, their idea of how you can improve your credit. But when you see someone who's actually gone through it, we actually watched her improve her credit. We actually watched her buy that home and send us her new address, and all through following those principles. So do you see? She did what she did, and then she was able to do what Dr. Patrick did. But you have to follow the steps. Success has footsteps, guys. You have to follow those steps. It doesn't fall out of the ear. So here you have someone teaching you about your credit score, and then teaching you, then after that, how you use that credit score to be able to buy homes. And we're speaking right now, we have people from Jamaica, we have people from Ghana, Nigeria, all over the world that's listening to this. And they may say, that's the US. I'm in my country. Do you know that as a title attorney, I did over 3,600 real estate transactions? We actually did the only Black owned property right by the White House, right by Pennsylvania Avenue, was owned by the National Association of Colored Women, and in Dorothy Heights. And I actually sat with Dorothy Heights when she was alive and did her transaction from beginning to end. And that's a smart woman. She always kept the credit of the organization top notch. And what she did is this, smart woman. She would go out and get a mortgage on the property. Now, this property is worth millions. So let's say she gets a $3 million, I think I did a $4 million transaction for her. So let's say she goes out and she goes to a mortgage lender. She gets a $4,000 loan that she uses that to run the organization. You know what she do after that? Go right up to Oprah, go right up to Magic Johnson, go right up to all the movie stars, and she would get them to then look at her document and say, look here, we had to borrow all this money to run our organization. You know what they would do for her? They would just give her the same amount of money. So she'd get $4 million again, and she would then use that, pay that one off, and keep doing it over and over again. So her organization never begged for money. And she was the only African American to own business on Pennsylvania Avenue, right near the White House. I saw it with myself. I did the transaction. So in order to move money, you have to have the right credit. And I told you, and why I'm saying this is that those people in other countries, because we're global, we're all over the world that are watching. Did you know that you don't have to be a US citizen? You don't have to be a US resident to buy property here in these great United States of America? Absolutely. You are not limited. So all of the things that we're sharing here, you can apply in your own business, in your own life, wherever you are in the world. And earlier I spoke about the patriarch of GODSU, which is my father, and the fact that he would give his children properties for their major birthdays or their major accomplishments. Well, that's something I want each and every one of you to start right now. And one way he did it is using the insurance products. There's something called an Index Universal Life product that you can start with your children, grandchildren, niece, nephews, as long as you're related, yourself. And you can start those accounts right now, today, no matter what age you are. I've done transactions for people in their 60s, 70s. It doesn't matter. The older you are, it's the more expensive it is to start, because they use an actual chart based on people's age and what their health is normally at that age. So let's say that you start on a baby that's, the baby's born, and instead of giving them Gucci and Nike and all that foolishness, what if you start, I'm just serious, Yeah. What if you start one of those IUL accounts? And how that works is that it builds up cash, but it also has a death benefit. It also has, the fact of the matter is that while you're alive, if you get, diabetes, you can't help yourself, you get, brain cancer, some kind of cancer, or some sickness, you can't bathe yourself, you can't feed yourself, you can't move around, you can't go to the toilet yourself, you can't help yourself, you can actually cash in on those policies once you've had them for a certain amount of time. And you might say, oh man, that's going to take too long. And that reminds me of my friend who both of us were at the same stage. I decided I'm going to go to law school, and they were like, that's too many years. I'm going to stay doing what I'm doing. And after I went to law school and after I did everything, I look back on them and they're, oh, I don't have any this, I don't have any that. I said, well, it's not too late, get started. But oh, you are far ahead. You had the same opportunity. You see, so when we have the opportunity, don't look at how long it's going to take to get to where you need to get to. Yeah. Take the first foot forward. That's what faith is about. Seeing enough just to make the first step. So there may be darkness everywhere else. Oh, my credit score is bad. Oh, I can't do second. Do the first step. Contact Dr. Lolithia. In fact, Dr. Lolithia, you have a call from me tonight at 9 o'clock because I have to do everything here tonight, plus do the dancing. You know, we have partying tonight from 8 to 9. I'm going to do all of that. And at 9 o'clock, I'm going to call you because I need you, girlfriend, to fix my credit. Absolutely. I have no shame in the game. When you've been an entrepreneur as long as I've been, 30-something years, and you've had to take out loans, you've had to do this, you have to do that, sometimes it gets a little bit messed up. Yes, it does. And so that is why you just have to be honest. And this lady here, she keeps every secret. So you don't have to worry about if she sees you at a foreclosure, or if she sees you at a bankruptcy, or you see you're at a court case. No worries. Tell her, because that's how she's able to help. I've seen so many people who are so ashamed of what they've been through that they never move beyond that. So everybody, right now, I want you to stop, and I want you to say to yourself, I forgive myself for the credit I have. Everybody, stop and say it right now. I don't care if you have an 800, maybe you can get an 801. Wherever you are, I want you to forgive yourself for the credit you have now, and then call Dr. Lolithia. And after you call Dr. Lolithia, she gets your credit straight. Then you're going to call Dr. Patrick. Dr. Patrick, I don't know if you have it set up as yet, but I just assigned you to set up a consulting company wherein people are going to pay you to show them to do what you do. Is that okay, sir?
That's fine with me. I appreciate it.
All right, we're going to set it up, and I'm going to be a minor partner up right there, up in the back.
Absolutely.
Set that up. Next week, we set up the LLC, and we get everything in order, because God has brought you through everything he's brought you through. And you and I are friends, so I know what you've been through. And I'm just to say to you that it brought you all the way around to set up that LLC, and you're going to help people. Once we see it's a team. So Dr. Lolithia helps with the credit. I help showing them how to set up the insurance to make sure, well, Dr. Willis, because you know me, I'll be delegating like crazy. So Dr. Willis, I'm just being honest, guys. You can't do everything.
That's right.
People who are greedy and they want everything for themselves, you can't succeed. That's why everything I do, I'm able to partner with people who are trusted, who have tried and true, and I know that everything is going to be fine. So call Dr. Lolithia, let her help you with the credit, all right? I help you with insurance. He then helps you with ensuring that you're able to buy those investment properties. Do you see how we work at GODSU? We don't compete. All of us are in financial services, but no one said, I want to get everything, so I'm not going to help anybody. We said, before we got on here, we've all spoken, and we said, how can we work together? And the Holy Spirit just told me how we're going to work together, and everybody shares in it. Do you see other opportunities to collaborate? And before you collaborate with anybody in GODSU, let me know, because I know everybody's stuff. So I would be like, that child, oh, baby. That child sent something saying they have a master's in rocket science. And when we checked it out, that child can't even read, okay? And that's why that child didn't go further in GODSU, because we checked it out. Now, I'm not going to tell you all of that. I'm just going to let you know, why don't you talk to them some more? And if I tell you, why don't you talk to them some more, that means you really need to talk to them some more. But if you come to me with somebody and they're outstanding, I'll say, let's go for it. So you heard the code words, because as a lawyer and as a ordained minister, I can't tell you people's business, but I can advise you if it's something that I would do. Like I might say, well, think about it some more, Or I might say, if you bring up Dr. Porte, you bring up Dr. Lolithia, Dr. Sandra, Dr. Adrian. As for this one right here, He has my checkbook. I don't even see it. I'm just like, everything balanced? Yes, it is. Okay, write a check there. That's how we move. So you want to be around people like that, that you can trust them with your life,
Absolutely.
you can trust them with your money. You know, Dr. Laleithia actually had all the codes to all my social media. That's how much I trust her. Sometimes you think I was posting, she was posting. I give her everything. If she was a thief, she'd have had all my money already, honey, because I trust her completely. And that's who you want around you. And that's what we do here at God's You. We ensure that if we present someone to you, that person is tried and true. So if you look and you see someone has disappeared, you look in the magazine, they're no longer there. You look in the network of students, they're no longer there. There's a reason, guys. Don't go outside looking them up. You will be in trouble. Okay? There's a reason why we have that list at the back of people who are in good standing with God's You, because those people over the years are tried and true. So if you look and you saw them last month and you don't see them this month, there's a reason. Okay? We're not going to tell you the reason. We're just going to remove them. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
All right. So there's so much more I want to talk to you guys about, how money works. I want to talk to you about getting ready for your retirement, etc. But these two were so awesome that I didn't stop them. I gave up my time. So we're just going to thank you all so much, and we're going to move to the next segment. Thank you guys. You are incredible. Incredible. Thank you so much. So I will talk to you all. Get my credit straight. Get that LLC. Let's get some people in some homes. Let's get some people in owning some homes and some businesses. God bless you.
Okay, I hope you enjoyed that wonderful highlight of our Empower You conference. And now we're going to get started with our outstanding global workers, helping with administration work and public relations for God's You, Lakeisha Richards Chaplin, who is the CEO of LJ Richards LLC.
Great. Thank you so much, His Excellency Dakar. Grace and peace to everybody. Truly, I give honor to God and I bless God for Her Excellency Dr. Diane Moore Eubanks and just to the staff here at GODSU. I tell you, I am so excited and I don't take it for granted. I count it an honor just to be a part of this great organization. God's You, we are global workers of God, and I am so excited to be serving alongside of this wonderful organization. I bless God. I have a servant heart, and I am just grateful every opportunity I get to serve His people. I want to encourage those of you who are listening, if you're ready to serve and you want to do something new this year and you feel that tug, God tugging at your heart, you definitely want to get in contact with God's You, because that could be a clear indication that God wants to take you to a next level. So I encourage you to just reach out, take that step of faith, and just look and see as to all the wonderful things that we have to offer here. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. As His Excellency Dakar said, I am the CEO and founder of LJ Richards. I am Lakeisha J. Richards, and I empower, I equip, and I educate women who are stuck and hurting from life issues, from pain to operating in their God-given purpose through the power of forgiveness. And if that resonate with you, I want you to contact me. I am on social media. I am also on Facebook and Instagram. Also, you can email me by going to info@ljrichards.com. And you can also visit my website, www.ljrichards.com. I look forward to connecting with you, and I pray that there's something that I said that resonate with you, that we can connect soon. God bless you.
Absolutely. Thank you. And we also have our Dr. Janice Boss Chaplin, who helped with public relations. She's the author of Code to Human Life, Building Good Relationships, and Artist International Global Distributor. which is a weight loss and shaping garment company.
Good afternoon, everyone, and to God be the glory. To the Right Honorable Her Excellency Reverend Dr. Attorney Diane Moore Eubanks, the founder, visionary, and chancellor of GODSU, to Vice Chancellor His Excellency Dr. Willis Eubanks Jr. Chaplain, to His Excellency Dakar Eubanks Chaplain, to Her Excellency Carol Banks Eubanks Chaplain, and to all GODSU's deans and professional staff. Thank you, thank you. I am humbled, and to God be all the glory. I am Dr. Janice Voss, an author of Code to Human Life, Building Good Relationships 2, my second book, which was published February 2021, and I am an alumni of GODSU. Praise God. Thanks for allowing me to have this platform to tell you about my entrepreneurship and the impact that GODSU has had on my life journey. I am an entrepreneur of health and wellness business with Artist Life, which is a two-step system. And during this pandemic season, we really need this two-step system. The first system is nutritional products. We all need to keep our immune system built up by putting nutritional products or supplements into our body. That is the first system. And I would like to show you this Lviv juice that I have been drinking for the past 10 years. I turned 70 years old or young on July 1st. And I'm on no medication. And so you can contact me and I will give you my contact information later about the Lviv juice. Also, we have what we call the core calcium. That's a nutritional product, which is good for your bones, any injuries that you have. And some of you will be getting this in the near future. It is very good for any type of broken bones, or if you need to build up your skeletal system, it is very good for that. So I will be giving you my information and you can contact me. The second system is the reshaping garment. It is good for breaking down your fatty tissues. It is called a body magic, and it does work magic on your body. So I would like to introduce that to you as well. So the first system is nutritional product system, and the second system is the reshaping garments. And we also have reshaping garments for men. I would like to give you my contact information, and I will repeat it again. You can call me at 301-221-2794. You can email me at jbdiva1@verizon.net. And you can follow me on Facebook Live, Janice Voss. And I would also like to give a disclaimer to all I have said about the nutritional products in the body magic, because we only go by testimonies, and I have a testimony that I can share with you. GODSU believe in collaboration and not competition. And in my lifetime of 70 years, I have never been involved in an alumni or any institution where they have had that idea, and not just had the idea or have the idea, but actually practice collaboration and not competition. It doesn't matter who you are as an alumni, you will be given an opportunity to present your entrepreneurship and to present yourself to the world. And I just thank God for being a part of GODSU. So many things, good things have happened in my life. And as I said before, I could talk for hours telling you about how GODSU has really been like the law of attraction in my life through God. I knew it's all God. And I know that GODSU is anointed. And I will be vigorously recruiting for GODSU because I think that this has been one of the best things that have ever happened in my life, other than confessing a hope in Christ. And I just want to say thank you to the GODSU family. I love you and I thank you for this opportunity. And I would just like to give my information again. My book can be found on www.amazon.com/code to human life, building good relationships. Again, that's www.amazon.com, code to human life, building good relationships. If you're interested in the health and wellness products, the website is Artist Life, that's ARDYSSLIFE.com/Diva BB123. That's artistlife.com/Diva VB123. That's the website for the health and wellness products. And you can call me at 301-221-2794. And again, I just thank God for being affiliated with the GODSU family. Thank you for allowing me this opportunity to share. Back to you, His Excellency Dakar.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you very much, Dr. Janice Voss. And also, we have helping with the following helping with administration work for GODSU, Dean His Excellency Dr. Willis Eubanks Chaplin, who's the CEO of Take Action Now, Inc., doing business as Tanit. He's a GODSU Dean of Cybersecurity Curriculum and is a GODSU Board Advisor. Assistant Dean Apostle Dr. Adrian Jackson Chaplin, who's the president and owner of Global Expert Solutions LLC. And she's also a God Success Teach and Pray co-host and is a GODSU board member as well. She also is an assistant dean of administration and is the senior administrator to the office of the chancellor. We have Assistant Dean Desnant Courtney Lodge, MBA. He is the co-founder, CEO, and master coach at Sure Profits Academy and Sure Profits Coach. He's also Assistant Dean of GODSU Credit Union and NFFI JA GODSU Board Advisor. Her Excellency Dr. Arlene Span Chaplin, who's the founder of Arlene Sweats and is a GODSU board advisor and NFFI JA Jamaica board member. We have our paralegal and doing GODSU administrative work, Director Her Excellency Cairo D.R. Eubanks, UNCSR CLC CEC Chaplain, who is the Miss Broward County and is the CEO of Cairo Speaks and Cairo Writes. She's also GODSU Director of Administration, Board Advisor, and co-director of the Junior Ambassador Program. We have helping with public, the following are helping with public relations for GODSU, Doctor. We have Dr. Antoinette Tony Myers Winfield, who's the doctor of chiropractor at Golden Spine Rehabilitation Center and a GODSU Desnant Chaplain. Eva J. Brown Chaplain, who's a former president of Misters and Misters, wife, and widows of Fredericksburg and vicinity, and currently serving as a chaplain. Physician, Her Excellency Dr. Rhoda McKenday, PhD, chaplain, who and she is with Drome, which she's the founder of Drome, which stands for Dr. Rhoda McKenday Initiative, and she's also GODSU's medical missions physician. Dean Reverend Dr. Anne Marie Wilkinson Chaplain, who's the CEO of Shop Fashion Focus and is a God Success Teach and Pray co-host. Assistant Dean Dr. Daniel Porte, MBA, HCS, CPC, CPRW, MPM, HRPM, SHRPM, chaplain. He's a GODSU board member, GODSU assistant dean of online courses, and CEO of Professional Management Enterprises, Inc. Miss Sharon Wright, who's the CEO of Bella Sapphire Self, who does self and skincare, and she's a GODSU sponsor. Assistant Dean, Reverend Dr. Lolithia Davis Chaplin, who's the CEO and founder of Dior to Live in Overflow. She's also a God Success Teach and Pray co-host and is a GODSU board advisor, and she's also Assistant Dean of Chaplaincy Program. We have Miss Black Florida Talented Teen, the Miss Black Florida USA title holder for the Sunshine State, Sudan A.L. Eubanks. She's the CEO of Sudan Dolls Games and Apps, and she's also a God Success Teach and Pray co-host. Assistant Dean, Reverend Dr. Sandra Norris Decker, chaplain, who's the First Lady and co-pastor of Greenhouse International Church. She's also the owner and physician of Genesis. And we have Assistant Dean, Her Excellency Stella Onoa, MBA, COKS chaplain, who's Director of Estrella Communications Group International, ECGI. And we have Designate Franca Dennis, who's a GODSU supporter. And we have our GODSU Chancellor, the Right Honorable Her Excellency Reverend Dr. Diane Moore Eubanks, JD Chaplain, who's the Miss Senior Florida USA and Miss Senior Jamaica Universe, Senior Vice President of Envita Financial Network as well. And I have myself, I help with administrative work, Director His Excellency Dakar Eubanks Chaplain. I'm the CEO of Dakar Marketing Tools. I'm also Director of Operations at GODSU and the co-director of the Junior Ambassador Program at GODSU. And I wanted to thank all of you all for the wonderful work with sending people for GODSU. I like to send a special appreciation to the GODSU leaders who have volunteered many hours. We especially thank those who provided actual names, emails, and phone numbers of referrals. GODSU is grateful for the opportunity to add workers of God to our database, as well as register for educational programs as well. And yes, as I said earlier, I am His Excellency Dakar. I'm Director of Operations at GODSU, and I'm the CEO of Dakar Marketing Tools, which is an international graphic and printing company which helps you with all your international graphics that you need. We do printing as well, and we provide merchandise that's crucial to your business's success, such as our magazines, banners, flyers, digital business cards. You can see an example on the screen. And we also have printed business cards as well. And with our innovative tools, you can turn your brick and mortar into an e-commerce platform. During this time of constant Zoom meetings and webinars, we at Dakar Marketing Tools want to make sure you're prepared with our Zoom for Profits course. You can follow the information on the screen to register on demand. Some of the things we cover is how to make money doing Zoom, Zoom essentials, Zoom basics, and turning your brick and mortar into an e-commerce platform. And also, I want to remind you that next week, Wednesday, we do have another special edition of our Wednesday Icon Talk. You're going to hear more about COVID-19 in our Masterclass 5. Learn COVID-19 prevention and updates. And that's going to be, our interviewer is going to be Dr. Rachel Turgeman. She's the CEO of On Point with Rachel Turgeman. And our interviewee is going to be our medical doctor, Eric J. Pazeski, MD. He's also took the Jewish chaplaincy program at GODSU. He's the employee of Health Medical Director and Good Samaritan MD Center. He's also a GODSU Jewish chaplain. So you want to join at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can join on the same platforms you use to watch the show at July 21st at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is 6 p.m. Central Time. So thank you for joining us. I want you to stick around. Please stay tuned as we do have some more messages that follow. Thank you.
Global Ovid Day Seminary and University GODSU is a 501c3 interfaith e-learning Global Florida Department of Education Commission of Independent Studies approved degree issuing religious institution of higher learning under Florida Statute 1005.061F in Miramar, Florida, a suburb of Fort Lauderdale suburbs. Our curricula include programs like our theology diploma, bachelor's, master's, and PhD programs, which are designed for students called to the ministries of teaching and preaching. Program enrollees include pastors, evangelists, missionaries, and laypersons. Our additional courses: Entrepreneurial Studies, premier self-development courses on wealth building. We also offer a mini course for youth, the Junior Ambassador Youth Public Speaking, to gain professional and personal skills. Chaplaincy Diploma, Love and Spiritual, Interfaith, and Christian programs. Chaplains are trained, certified leaders attached to either a religious and or non-religious institution or organization. Cybersecurity IT courses. Our licensed instructor has a 95% pass rate compared to the 30% national average for CompTIA accredited courses, such as Security Plus and Network Plus. 40% of our alum who've gone through our prestigious GODSU honors programs have also previously matriculated through their earned doctorate programs. Our alum include physicians, ambassadors, statesmen and stateswomen, icons and billionaires, religious leaders, titans in business, global philanthropists such as Ambassador of Ghana to the United States, His Excellency Dr. Bafor A.J. Bewa, Ambassador of Nigeria to the United States, His Excellency Dr. Sylvanus Nusufor, billionaire builder and dean, His Excellency Dr. Michael V. Roberts, former Maritime Minister, Government of Nigeria, Honorable Dr. Leke Olawale. Our world-class and esteemed professors include Attorney Her Excellency Reverend Dr. Diane Moore Eubanks, Ph.D., Chancellor, Physician Dr. Eric Bizetsky, Clinical Health and Nutrition and GODSU Medical Expert, Physician Her Excellency Rhoda Makinde, Ph.D., Chief Medical Doctor, GODSU, Medical Missions, Dean Michael V. Roberts, J.D., Ph.D., Dean of Entrepreneurship Studies, Dean Kyra Eubanks, Dean of Junior Ambassador, Professor Willis Eubanks, Ph.D., Dean of Cybersecurity Program, Professor Imam Dr. Talib Sharif, Professor Interfaith Program and Chaplaincy, Professor Reverend Dr. William Blake Theology Program Curriculum Development, Professor His Excellency Dakar